Welcome back to Critical Storytelling, where it's not about me telling my story, but helping you tell yours. In the last video, I talked about the framed narrative, and I forgot to say what a narrative is. It is a story. It comes from the verb to narrate, which is to tell any story either in writing or speech. And the framed narrative is when that story is embedded within not necessarily a larger story, but something that is all-encompassing. It surrounds the main story, although it may only be like a couple of lines in an epic poem. And we're going to get to one of those today. So the effects of this are that it serves as a purpose to control. It gives authority. It grounds the reader's experience in something that is more than just, this is what I heard. It provides context, and it creates intrigue in that you want to hear the story that is about to be told more than the one that is telling it. And there was a third one, the limiting of liability, in when things aren't necessarily told the right way. Like in oral tradition, the Old Testament had a lot of instances such as that it's like, well, it's been told so many times, or like maybe we didn't get things right, but nobody really is worried about that so much as like, let's get to it. And so that's what we're going to do today with the Rime of the Ancient Mariner by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. It was published in his book of lyrical ballads in 1789. And it's part of the pre-Romantic movement, which is about the time when humans had the Industrial Revolution, when they began to be very preoccupied with nature, with returning to nature, because they had gotten so far away from it with all of the advancements and machines. So in the poem, it's set with a group of people on their way to a wedding. Like, these people want to party, and a guy in the group gets stopped, and he's not too happy about it either. But there's something about the storyteller that just pulls him in and makes him say, for whatever reason, he would rather hear the story than get to the party and dance and eat. So I'm going to read those first 5 stanzas of the Rime of the Ancient Mariner. Part 1. It is an ancient mariner, and he stoppeth one of 3. By thy long grey beard and glittering eye, now wherefore stoppest thou me? The bridegroom's doors are opened wide, and I am next of kin. The guests are met, the feast is set. Mayest hear the merry din? He holds him with his skinny hand. There was a ship. Hold off, unhand me, grey-beard loon. Eftsoon his hand dropped he. He holds him with his glittering eye. The wedding guest stood still, and listens like a 3 years' child. The mariner hath his will. The wedding guest sat on a stone. He cannot choose but hear. And thus spake on that ancient man, the bright-eyed mariner. So the purpose of the frame is to reinforce that the reader knows they want to hear this story. Because, after all, someone who was on their way to a party and about to have a good time, you can imagine he is well dressed and wanting to meet someone there, wanting to, not lag behind with the group of people that he's with. And there's something about the storyteller that holds his attention in a way that he just says, you know what, that's not important. I've got to hear the rest of the story. Like, the ship is, there's something about there seems to be an urgency, I think, in the fact that, although in the reading I didn't necessarily, get that part across, that the mariner is, like, urgently trying to tell a story. I guess that's, part of the artistic license of whoever else may choose to read it however they want. But it is a good example of how having your story, and when I say your story, the purpose of the channel is writing, creative writing, but storytelling can come in any way. It can be a screenplay for a movie or a video game or song lyrics. So, like, this is something that anyone who has creative writing, or maybe it's spoken poetry, if you're trying to tell a story, this is a good way to begin it. And this is an excellent example of how Coleridge was able to get the reader in just these few lines. And I mean, this is going to be another short video. I'll hopefully do the next bit of it tomorrow. But it didn't take long to get the reader to a point where they're like, okay, they're at the threshold of the actual story, and now they want to get in. Thank you.